Hi, welcome everybody. It's Zoe at the Yoga Hub, doing some yoga this afternoon. So just grab yourself 10-15 minutes to be present here with me as we do our little sequence for today's work. So we're going to start just finding a nice comfortable spot, whether that's on your mat like me, you might be sat in a chair at the moment, you might be sat at a desk doing some work. So just take time out to sit in your chair, find your feet firmly on the floor, and sit back in the chair and relax your shoulders and hands, relax your hands on your lap. If you're sitting like me, you might want to sit kneeling, you might want to sit cross-legged, however you want to be. So we're going to start focusing on our breath. So I want you to just start with me, either close your eyes or focus on a spot just in front of you and start to think about your breath. So we're going to be breathing gently in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just gently bringing that focus to the movement of the breath as you stay here for 3 or 4 more breaths. Good, and just as we bring ourselves present in the moment, we're going to focus today, our little focus is on compassion to others. So compassion to others is really important because sometimes we need to have a little bit more patience with ourselves and others. So I want you to imagine for a moment that you have somebody sat in the room next to you, somebody that's maybe come to you for a little bit of advice or they want just your opinion on. And I want you just to take for a moment, to think about that person, what they've asked you and how you would react and in what you would tell them to do. So just take for further few breaths, a little focus on that and think about maybe a situation that's recently happened like that. And as you think about that situation, I want you to think about how you reacted in that situation. Because often when we tell others things to do or give them advice, it's sometimes things that we don't do to ourselves. So we might be encouraging them to just think a little bit more about the situation they're in, thinking about the kindness in that situation, the understanding and the patience. And these are sometimes things that we need to bring to ourselves, because sometimes we can be quite harsh on ourselves and how we think about things we should be doing. And often we impart the things we should do for ourselves onto others. So it's an interesting thing to know and sometimes a focus point to bring yourself back to. So just for another 2 breaths here, or 2 or 3 breaths, let's just think about those things that we can impart onto ourselves, not just others. And from here, if you've got your eyes closed, open your eyes and let's begin now with a little bit of movement. So today we're going to do cow face pose. So this sounds a very strange posture. It's one that it can be quite difficult but also challenging. So it's great in yoga to challenge yourself at times. It helps us push our boundaries and also it makes us realise that we can do things that we never thought we could do. So today's challenge, cow face pose, you're going to be kneeling like me, so bring yourself into a kneeling position. I'm going to show you backwards here so that you can see what I'm doing with my hands. So we're going to bring our right hands up and it's going to come just between the shoulder blades here at the base of our neck. My left hand is coming around, okay, and is flat on my lower back. I'm then going to try and make these hands meet. So I'm going to shimmy and slightly try and just push that left hand up towards my right. I might touch my fingers. I might even just interlock my fingers together. For me today, this is how far I can get, but you might manage a little bit further. So see how you go with this pose. Once you've got your hands in position, hold them there. Okay, try and think about sitting nice and tall and pushing your chest forward, because this will help you also get the hands a little bit further towards each other. And as you sit here, just take a further few breaths in your cow's pose. This is a great stretch for the shoulders, so you might notice this right around the front of your left shoulder as well. Also helps your posture, helps push and squeeze your shoulder blades together, really opening out the chest area. From here we release. You might want to just shake your arms, because actually that is quite a stretch here for that shoulder, so just give your arms a little swing. And then we change sides. So this left arm now is coming up. Remember, it's coming just in between the shoulders at the base of the neck. This right arm, wrap it right the way around and shimmy the back of that hand up to meet the other. And you might find that one side's easier than the other. So that might be something to note, that actually one shoulder feels tighter than the other. But again, this is all about noticing our body, sensations in our body, and that's what yoga's for. So let's focus for the next couple of breaths on our cow's pose. And again, nice and tall with your posture here as you breathe. And then gently release. Again, you might want to just roll your shoulders, shake your arms a bit, shake your hands. Okay, so from here we're going to come on to our camel pose. So this is a half camel pose. Again, this is a nice posture as well for really opening out the body. So we're going to be kneeling, so coming into a kneeling position here. So my knees are hip width apart. And I'm going to be, if I show you sideways on here, so my knees are hip distance apart. I'm going to start with my left hand this time. And I'm going to come onto the tiptoes behind me here. So that, actually I'll show you with the left hand. So my left hand's going to come to my heel. I'm going to turn and look towards my hand as I place my hand on my heel. I'm then going to try the other side, so that I'm coming back leaning as I find my right ankle. And the same with the left. So just keep that movement going so you get used to twisting and looking behind to touch the heel. Then I'm going to stay with this right heel, and I'm going to lift my right arm right up to the ceiling. As I exhale, I'm going to squeeze my glutes, so squeeze my bottom here to protect my back, because as I lengthen my arm, I come into a back bend. And I just keep going as far as I feel comfortable. And I'm looking out towards my hand as I hold. I'm taking a couple of breaths here to really feel that release through the body. And then I'm lifting up. And I'm changing sides. So I'm going to come now onto my right side. So feel for the right ankle. Squeeze your glutes here before you lift up the left arm. And exhale and lengthen back. Again, breathe here as you hold. Come down and sit on our heels, and we come into child's pose. So release back, bring your forehead to the floor. This is a nice release after that back bend. Soften your head to the floor, your shoulders relax, your breath relaxes, and your body releases. Give yourself a few breaths here just to recover and enjoy your relaxing pose here in child's pose. From child's pose, we're going to come on to a new partner pose. So we're going to be coming into lizard on a rock. So lizard on the rock is a great one you can do if you just grab somebody who's in the room with you, or maybe next door. So I'm going to be showing you easily here from child's pose. You're going to have one person who's going to be in child's pose, so that will be me. And I'm going to bring my counterpart in. Okay, in you come. So the person who's in child's pose is going to come into this, what we call a little rock pose, okay? So once you've tucked into a little ball, person number 2 is going to come, and this is really important that they sit on your lower back. So right on your lower
back, which is your sacrum, and then they relax back onto your back. Their feet are on the floor, and then you can, if they've got short arms or even long arms, you can lengthen their arms forward. It's a nice stretch for the person on top, their back. And you can just relax here for a few breaths. It's a nice one to do. So don't be afraid, but really important, as they come up, you might have to just help them, push them up. Really important for that though, that when they're sitting on your lower back, it's right at the base of the back, okay? They're not sitting higher up, but there, okay? And then you change over, so you let the other person have a go. So it's a fun one to do. Try not to roll off to one side. Try and do it sensibly, so as you come up, you're helping the person, not letting them just side roll off, because you can twist your back. So just be aware of that in your lizard on the rock pose. So from here, we're going to come on to a little bit of more breath work just for a minute or two. So bring yourself back to sitting cross-legged or kneeling, and we're going to be looking at what we call balloon breath. So balloon breath, we've done before, is our abdominal breath. Okay, we call our abdominal breath many things, balloon breath being one. So you want to place one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly, so that is below the belly button, remember, with your hand. And I want you to think about, as you breathe in for the next 5 breaths, it might help to close your eyes here again, on breathing deeply into the body and just feeling your breath for a moment. So feeling your lungs filling like a balloon on the inhale, and on the exhale, feel that pull of the belly button in and allowing all the air out of that balloon. So we're thinking of the body here as we inhale as being a balloon filling and then a balloon releasing. Okay, and just gently focusing on that movement. And as I was saying, in subsequent weeks, think about your breath really going deeper into the lower lungs, so that you're allowing the belly to rise and fall as you inhale and exhale. And if it helps you can maybe put 2 hands on the belly. Good, and then from there releasing the hands, opening the eyes. Okay, so we're going to come into a little bit of relaxation now. I'm going to do a little pose with you just to help. It's like a releasing pose for the back. So if you've got a little cushion, or if you've got a thick mat, you might want to double over the mat, just as a little extra padded area. So if you've got a yoga mat, you might want to just double it over like that, or triple it over on itself, okay? Or as I have, obviously I have a little pillow cushion. I'm going to use that today. So put that out about midway along your mat, because you're going to be sat just in front of that padded area, and this is going on my lower back, okay, right on my lower spine, not in the middle. And as I lie back, my feet are going to be hip width apart, okay, and I'm just going to relax with my arms by my side and my chin slightly tucked into my chest. And this is the pose I want to be in. So my knees are bent in, hip width, not lying out flat. And I'm just going to sit here for a moment, lie here rather for a moment, and just continue with that breath movement, okay, just for a minute, allowing your lower back to release and soften, and your breath.
position. It helps soften the spine and lower back. Just create that little bit more space within the back of the body. As you lie here, just feel as you breathe out that you're letting go of any extra tension away from the body on that breath out. So any areas that you feel might be tight around the shoulders, just let that all go as you breathe out with each breath. You might want to take the pillow away, or that softened area now, and then just let the legs release out. Come into that full relaxation pose, soften your feet away from each other, and just begin to soften the whole of the body. Let any thoughts release, so any thoughts that float in, let them go, and just let that focus return to the breath. Remind yourself that you can come back to this relaxation position any time of day. That awareness to the breath and just that letting go. And then gently we're just going to bring some focus back to the body. We're going to wiggle our toes and maybe just circle out our ankles here. So just give ourselves a little stretch through the ankles, point the toes. Same with the hands, just give them a rotation. You might want to take a final stretch out through the body here. We're going to bring our hands together here. We're going to give ourselves our hands a rub so we get a little bit of energy, create energy within the palms. We're going to place these hands just over the face, just a couple of inches away from the face. And we're going to take a further couple of breaths here. And then let go of your hands. Take them away, hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug, and congratulate yourself for giving yourself time today, time for you. And just rolling gently over when you're ready. Take your time here, you might want to lie here for a moment. And then just gently coming up. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope to see you, namaste, next time here.